Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode we're going to be going through a couple things here. I put them on signs so I can sort of go in an order so I don't get sidetracked. I like to get sidetracked in this game. Not like to, but it ends up happening anyway. I'm sure you could tell, I did change mics to the blue snowball. Like I said in the previous video, I don't really like the mic quality sound from the headset mic, so I got this mic to work. Let me know what you guys think down in the description there, or down in the comments. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing some furnace generators. I'm going to make some leadstone flux ducts to transfer the energy from the generator to the energy cell, or one of the other pulverizers, or the redstone furnaces that we're going to be making also. I also want to go ahead and create a sword. Because right now I'm just using a normal iron sword. I want to go ahead and get into the tinker sword. I also want to go ahead and not really hunt the enderman, but I want to try to find some, try to get some ender pearls to get up and running on the pump and tank setup, as well as I want to try finding a village for some food. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the furnace, or the generators. So I do have a survival generator here. The only thing I can tell a difference between the generators, I do apologize if you can hear the keyboard when I am speaking and typing at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and make some changes with the mic in between this episode and next to try and get it the best as I can. So I do apologize for that as well. I'm going to go ahead and try typing while not talking. I don't know if that will help or not, but generator's right in front of me. I still can't spell it. So I found out with these extra utilities generators, they sort of all take the exact same materials. Not materials, but they could all accept the, like if you right click and go to actually click on the generator, it gives you all the recipes and it tells you how much energy you get per item that you put in there. So if I go and find coal on this culinary generator, this one might only be able to accept food because it's culinary. Yes. So if you take the survival and the furnace, I believe the only difference is the amount of RF, which is redstone flux, which is energy. I believe that's the only thing that changes. But if we look at the furnace generator here, you get 2.5 seconds per, not per item, but for the basic items, and you get 40 RF it looks like. So if we go here, you get 50 seconds, but you only get 5 RF a tick. So it looks like you might be able to get more power. Let me wait until I go to a wood item here. Okay, so yeah, so they last longer in there, it seems like, but you don't get as much RF a tick. So you could technically have like 10 of these to get the equivalent of a furnace generator, because a furnace generator produces like basically 10 times the amount. So if I feel like the furnace generator is you get more at one time, not over time. So I'm going to go ahead and make the furnace generators because they're not really that expensive. Machine block is just a chest, 4 redstone, 4 iron. It gives you 4. Very basic. Then just a furnace, some iron, and redstone. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of those, as well as some flux duct. The flux duct it's basically, just think of it as a cable. It transfers the energy from whatever you're producing it to wherever it has to go. So just think of these as wires. So the leadstone can transfer 1000 RF a tick, and if we go back to this, it only produces 50 RF a tick. So with the leadstone, the most basic wire, I'm just going to call them wires or flux ducts, you can have 20 of them hooked up to it just to max out your flux duct. I'm definitely not going to have that for right now. So I'm just going to make a few of the leadstone flux ducts just to connect my furnaces together, and then either into the energy cell to store it, or directly into the machines, so I can go ahead and try to get some machines set up and running. So I'm going to go ahead and destroy this here, because like I said, I'm not going to be using the survival generator. I'm going to be using the other generator, which is the furnace generator. So let me just go ahead and type that in. There we go. So I don't have to scroll through a bunch of things here. I went ahead and made 4 iron chests, as well as this for my ores and everything. I will be making that a double iron, one for the ores and one for the ingots, diamonds, redstone, stuff like that, just to separate them a little bit. So if I had to come up, grab some ores to go ore doubling, I could just go right to one chest. Makes it a little bit easier. I don't really have a chest for like modded items, so I'm just going to place it down up there. I might use that, I might not. So let me go ahead and grab a couple of the furnace ones here. I'm probably just gonna make 4 because this makes 4. So I'll probably go ahead and just do that. So let me just grab 2 of those. Let me just grab all of that. Grab a couple of those. Everything I need. So if I go here, click on that, and then if I shift click, I don't have a chest. As you can see, it highlights it in red. So I need some wood. Hey. Oh. Let's just do it this way. Go in there. Now that I have some wood, go ahead and make a chest. Place that in the middle. You don't have to place it in the middle. You can leave it in your inventory if you'd really like to. Now I'm going to go ahead and make 4 of these. Voila. Got 4 of them. Pretty simple. So let me go ahead and go back to the flux duct. Leadstone. So I just need some lead, some redstone, and some glass. As you can see, I didn't smelt any of the lead, and lead's up here. So I'm going to go ahead and smelt this in the smeltery so I can get 58 of it. And then I'm also going to need some glass, and I don't believe I have any sand. I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 1 sand while I'm out here. I did plant some trees so I can try to get some wood production up and going. Let me throw that in there. Then let me run down here where I can go get some sand with the excavator. Let me. Nope. Nope. And that's enough for now. Eventually, there's a way that you can turn cobblestone into sand. You use the pulverizer, which is a machine from, what is it? Thermal. I always forget the name. Thermal expansion. That's it. Someday I'll learn how to type. The pulverizer's from the thermal expansion mod pack. There's a lot of machines that we'll be using from there. I don't really go into industrial craft anymore. I used to whenever I used to play Tekkit back in the day, but I don't really use industrial craft too much, not unless I'm trying to make the quantum armor, and it's not really worth it because there's another mod, Draconic Evolution, that has amazing armor once you get it to the Draconic stage and not the Wyvern. So we'll be getting into there, but that's going to be a little bit later. That's late game armor. 2 more blocks and then 4 ingots. The reason we're doing this is, let me actually go. Can I just make a? Oh boy. Do I even have an ingot? I do not. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. Place an ingot there. So I have to make a cast for the ingot to pull out 1 ingot at a time, because if you look in here, I only have 2 ingots. So if I was to hit one of these basins to pull out a whole stack, or not a whole stack, to make a block, it would only pour out 2, and then the liquid would sit in there. The only way to get rid of it is to either destroy the basin and then place the basin back and you lose 2 ingots, or you have to throw in enough lead to get 7 more to fill your 9. Or you make a cast of an ingot and then you can pull out ingots at a time. It's the best way to do it instead of doing this and taking 7 of these, waiting for it to smelt again. You're doubling your usage of lava, so it's kind of pointless. So the one way to make a cast, we did it in a previous episode, was copper and aluminum, and I believe it was a 3-to-1 ratio, and that's how you get the material to make a cast. You can also just throw in 1 gold ore, and that gives you 2 ingots. And when you pour the 2 ingots of gold over the object, that's also how you make a cast. So we'll go ahead and do that here, just so I can show you guys that recipe as well. Once we get the flux duct, which is the wiring, once we have that, we can go ahead and start making some of the machines. I probably should have brought out a bunch of gold, because most of the machines do use gold for conduits and everything like that. So as you can see there, we have 2 ingots. I'll click that to place it to the bottom so that pours out. I'll pour it over the ingot, and as you can see, it'll automatically change to recipe as an ingot cast. So now I have the ingot cast, and now I have 2 ingots of lead, and I can pull them out separately. You do have to not really worry, but if you have a bunch of different mods installed, as we do here, and if I was to type in, I believe it's copper, and then I do ingot. Okay, never mind, did I lie? There's a couple of the, they might have changed it in the update in this mod pack, but I played it when it first came out, and there's a few of them that there's multiple ingots. So say I was to smelt, say I was to do the ore doubling in industrial craft, it would produce lead ingot, but it would not have the mod listed underneath its thermal foundation. It would be industrial craft. So some of the ingots you could have multiple entries in your chest, but they're the exact same ingot. They might have changed it in an update, because like I said, the last time I played this was on the very initial release, so there were some bugs and everything that had to be worked out. So that's definitely a possibility of that happening. So now I got the lead. I still never threw the glass in because I'm a procrastinator. Oh, we got a little bit of that. Let me grab some coal. Enough for now. Throw that in, and I'll just throw that all in. We don't really use sand too much. We use glass more than we do sand, because there's not really that many recipes that take sand. It's just a lot of recipes involve glass. So I would definitely recommend either getting a sand farm going or an automation to get some glass, because like I said, you eventually do get into a lot of glass recipes. I have enough there, so I believe it was here, no, there. This, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, a lot. At least I had that right. There we go. 6. I'm gonna go ahead and make a little bit more. Did I already forget the recipe? Yes, I did. Don't mind me. So I'm gonna go ahead and make 12, just so I have enough. So with these, as you can see, they automatically connect as long as they're compatible. You can destroy them with a pickaxe. It's pretty quick. There's also a wrench that you can use. I always forget which wrench it is for some reason. I believe it is. Because there's a lot of different wrenches in certain ones. Not extreme reactors. I believe it's this one here. It might be this one here. But one of the wrenches you can use, and it'll automatically pick it up as well if you shift right click it, it'll do the same thing. You can also rotate your machines with the wrench. So if I was to place down one of the machines from thermal expansion, you would be able to rotate it, so you could make it face a different way if you'd like to, instead of destroying it and placing it like a normal block. Like I said, there's a bunch of different wrenches, but one wrench is very good. It sort of does all of them. I'm not 100% if it's the Ender IO or if it's the wrench from Buildcraft. I'll probably be making it here later this episode, so I'll be able to give you exactly which one it is. With all these trees in the way, it's kind of hard to set up where I want the machines. I'm just going to do back here. It seems like a good area. So I'm just going to go ahead and put down these furnace generators. So as you can see right there, it says grid power, because it's part of the Extra Utilities 2 mod. Anything a part of that mod, if you look at it, it'll tell you if it's using or giving out grid power. This might produce grid power as well, but if we look at the interface here, so over here you could put in a speed upgrade. So I believe the speed upgrade on generators, you just get more redstone flux a tick, or you might get, like, it might increase your amount that you produce from the one item. So those are where you can place speed upgrades. And then this is your RF. So if I was to just throw some coal in here, let me go grab some coal real quick. It would generate some RF, and it would store it within the machine right there, the generator. So let me grab this, and as we could see, boom. So it's generating. Doesn't say how many per tick, but it does last for 20 seconds. And as you can see, I'm already generating over 10,000 RF. And so once it's filled up, it'll stop. So it's 63% through, but it still does use it, even though it's not really technically using it. But so right now this machine is maxed out. It has it completely maxed out. So if I was to put a battery, say over here, and have these 4 funnel into the battery to charge the battery, and then I could take that battery and go anywhere I want with it, and I could have power on the go. So I'm gonna go ahead and make one of those here real quick. They are called energy cells. This is just what I prefer to use. There's different ones that you can use from different mods. I believe in Ender IO there is also like a bank or a capacitor of some sort. Let's see here. I know that they used to, yeah, right here, capacitor banks. So you could store up to a decent amount in each one of those capacitor banks. There's also some capacitors you could store on you. So we have these from thermal expansion. They're capacitors. They hold 1 million RF a tick. Right now we only have 10,000 in that machine. We can also do 4 million, 9 million, 16, 25, and then the creative one if you're playing in creative, so you have unlimited. There's also ones from Draconic Evolution to hold power. The base one's 64 million. The higher one's 256 million, and then you can also increase those with additional things, as well as these. I believe you can add, I want to say it's an enchantment for holding that increases the charge, the amount of charge it can hold at one time. But we'll be using these as well as we'll be using both capacitors in both mods. I use the capacitors from thermal expansion early on, and then once I get the Draconic Evolution, I use that because all my tools revolve around that, as well as the armor and everything. So, and you definitely want to make sure you have enough power on you, because if your armor runs out of power and you get hit, you have no armor. That's the only downside to advanced armor, is that. So let me go ahead and put in a energy cell. You can also do an enchantment on these energy cells with some enchantments as well, but I don't have it for holding to increase the amount, because right now it's only going to hold 2 million, and the max output it can put out is 1,000 RF a tick. So that's not too bad early on, but you definitely want to get an enchantment on holding if you plan on using these over the other variants. But it's a very simple recipe. A lead gear, just 4 lead, as well as you have to make the frame first. Just 4 glass and 4 iron. Do I even have enough glass? I don't think I do. I don't. Like I said, you definitely want to get enough sand. I usually I like to go and find a desert early on and just destroy the landscape. It drives everybody that I play nuts, because I just leave holes like this. I'll just go in with the excavator and mine a 3x3 of the top layer. And it looks horrible, but I'm not there, so I don't really care. I'm never gonna go back to the desert. I don't like the desert, so I just do what's easiest. But eventually you can, like I said, I'll show maybe in a future video how to get sand. Actually, I could probably do it real quick while that's smelting. So to get sand, let me go to the pulverizer here. So up the top, here it is here. So the pulverizer, you get sand from pulverizing, I believe it's gravel. Yeah, gravel. So as you can see, the pulverized gravel, you get sand, and you have a 15% chance of getting flint. And to get gravel, you just pulverize cobblestone. So once you get a quarry going where you get a bunch of cobblestone, you pulverize that to gravel, and then you pulverize gravel into sand, and then you automatically just smelt that directly into glass. And whenever you pulverize cobblestone to get gravel, you have a 15% chance of getting sand. And you can also increase this 15% with augmentations that you can add to the machines. We'll get into that as well, because I do like to use those. So then you can actually get a better chance of getting sand. So you can get sort of 2 sand out of 1 cobblestone, and eventually you're going to have enough cobblestone where you start destroying it. And that's the point where it gets really nice, because then you have basically unlimited glass. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of those. I'm only going to need one of these for right now. I eventually will be making a few more. And as you can see, you need electrum. And now this is where it gets a little tricky for the energy cells. So electrum is gold and silver. You can use an induction smelter from thermal expansion. You could just put in the ingots. I'll get to it eventually here. Yeah, you could just put in the ingots and you get 2 electrum out of it. And if you use a redstone furnace, you have to smelt a blend, which means you have to get pulverized silver and pulverized gold. And to get pulverized anything, you need a pulverizer. And so I could technically make a pulverizer, hook it up to the generator that we have out there, and just pulverize the dust, and then get the blend, and then put that into a furnace. You could do that. You could do an induction smelter. You could do a sag mill, I believe. To get I believe the sag mill, you just put in the objects, but it's the same. Oh no, alloy smelter. That's what it was. But either way, you still need a machine, and you still need power to power that machine. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a pulverizer, and I'm also going to make a redstone furnace. And the reason I do those is those are the 2 main ones for thermal expansion to get ore doubling. Because the pulverizer pulverizes an ore into 2 dust, and then the 2 dust go to the redstone furnace, and it automatically smelts and outputs to a chest. So let me go ahead and hit the right keys on my keyboard so we can get moving forward here. So the pulverizer, you need a machine frame. Every machine that you make in thermal expansion, I can't say every because I'm not 100% certain, so I'm going to say most. I'm going to say like 90%. You need a machine frame for every single machine you make in thermal expansion. And it takes a tin gear, which is just 4 tin and an iron ingot. Very, very straightforward. And 4 glass, 4 iron. Like I said, glass is very useful because say you want to set up an automatic farm where it outputs all of your ores into a separate pulverizer and then a separate furnace. You would need how many ores there are. That's how many pulverizers you would need. So let's just say there's 10 different ores. You would need 40 glass right off the rip right there. Plus you need furnaces, so there's another 40 glass. So you need 80 glass just to do one mod, and that's the minimum that you would need. Because like I said, every other machine within this mod also needs 4 glass or 8 glass or anything like that. So glass is going to be a very limited resource that we're going to always run into not having. So, but let me go ahead and make this real quick. Grab a stack. I guess I was too far away. Let me grab a stack of that. Let me grab some wood. I already have wood. I believe I have everything but copper. I don't even have copper. Alright, it looks like I'm gonna have to go mining here. Let me make a chest. I just put mine. Not the furnace. I forgot I could have just grabbed it from there. So I'm going to make an iron chest here, place it right next to my bed, and I'm going to make this for the modded materials that we're going to have, just to keep it a little bit organized. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the survival furnace in there as well. Let me double click that, place that in there, place that. I believe I still have some in my backpack too. I don't need this. So I'm going to go ahead and go mining for just a little bit. I am going to show you guys, I believe I did in a previous video, but I just want to go over it just again, just to make sure we're all clear here. So if you click on a copper ore, because that's what you want to go mine, left click again is how to get it, right click is how to use it. So if you left click on the copper ore, and you look for this world gen tab, if you click that, it gives you the Y coordinates of where it drops. So it looks like the best place to mine is between 49 and 50. So I'm going to go ahead and start a mine shaft on, not a mine shaft, but I'm just going to go start mining on 49. Just so there's a better chance of me finding copper, so I can try to find it as quickly as possible. So underneath the mini map, I'm going to be making this 3 wide, so try to ignore all the nonsense here. Go ahead to 49. It's kind of finicky here because sometimes you get, like there's a fine line on a step where you're standing, so a lot of the times I'm never right. Oh, look at that, I am. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just start mining here. As you can see, found copper already, so it's nice to have that little ore finder because it's used for any of the ores. So if you wanted to look up diamond ore, left click, click on the world gen, you're looking at, they're saying Y5 is the best in this mod pack. So I guess we're going to go down to 5 and not 12 like we always do. I mean, it's only a 0.01% chance higher, because at 12 you're looking at a 0.12%, and on 5 you're looking at a 0.14. So 0.02%. With the luck that I have, that's not going to make a big difference anyway. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of copper here. I'm not going to grab a lot, just so I can keep the video a little bit not mining. I don't really like mining as well. I don't mind mining, but for your sake, I don't care for it. So let me go ahead and throw that. Let me sleep. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in a smeltery, double that up, go out, grab at least the block of copper, so that we can try to get this rock and rolling. So let me go ahead over to my signs and mark off what we did already. We did the furnace generators. We take that off. Leadstone flux duct we also did. Can I do a control A? Cool. Energy cell we went over. I did not create it yet, so I'm going to leave it on there. The pump and tank, we're far from that. Pulverized redstone furnace, we're working on that. And the sword and looting, we'll probably do it to wrap up the video. So we're probably gonna do a pulverizer, redstone furnace, complete the energy cell, And then I might be able to get into the sword and looting depending on how long this one's going to be here. I don't like to make the videos too long, because I know when I watch a YouTube video or somebody playing a game, I don't want to sit there for an hour and watch a video. Some people I do, some people I don't, but it's kind of finicky. It's sort of up to you guys, basically. So if you want longer videos, leave it down in the comments. If you want shorter videos, if you want more cuts and just a highlight of what's going on, leave that down in the comments. Basically, just let me know what you guys are feeling, and I'll sort of take the majority of what people are saying and what people want. I might mix up a few, because not everybody wants long videos, but maybe 80% of you guys do. So I might have, like, maybe out of the 3 days that I upload this Minecraft series, maybe I'll do one long video and 2 short ones, or 2 long ones, 1 short one. So just let me know what you guys want. I'll try to not please everybody, but I want to make sure that you guys have something to watch, and I don't want to make it too long or too short, depending on what you guys. Let me go back to, what did I need a copper for? I believe it was for the pulverizer, for the gears. Am I correct? Yep. I also need gold, which I did not throw out there. Let me go throw this out there while we make the rest of it, because like I said, we're going to need a lot of gold, so let me just go ahead and throw that in. Okay. So I can go ahead and probably make the copper gears. Yes. I was going to say I knew the recipe, but I definitely did see it right there, so I'm not gonna lie. I believe I need 2 of them also for the furnace. If not, I'm going to make more than 1 pulverizer, so no big deal. I need flint, which I believe is down. 2 flint. I also need a piston, which is 1 redstone, 1 iron. I don't have any. So it looks like to grab the cobblestone out, you do have to hit the face, but you can add it wherever. So that's probably why it didn't work the last time I tried that. I just added it. Took it out of that and put it in the chest, I believe. You know, like that. I believe this is. Alright, so I have everything except for this. I can go ahead and make. I didn't smelt tin. No, I didn't smelt any tin yet. I'll have to go do that also. I don't really have a lot of tin. 36 of it once it's done. We're so good on lava so far. Hopefully that doesn't mix. I'm gonna take this out before mixing. And that's another issue it's not that I don't like it about the smelter, is I just don't know enough about it. I don't know if the tin and golds mix, because if you put 2 liquids in there, they will mix if they're capable of it. So I don't like to just throw stuff in there. So usually you have to, say I throw in 63, I have to stand here, take out all the blocks before I smelt something else. I believe it was 10 blocks, so I'll do it over there. So it kind of gets annoying, because it does slow it down just a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot. I should probably be able to get those last 2 blocks out before that's done. Oh, tin smelts fast. Well, we're about to see if it mixes. By the looks of it, it does not. Cool. Guess I got to think. Let that pour out, because I believe if I hit the next one, it will start pouring out gold. And it'll stop whenever it's done. So keep an eye on that. So you can't just, like, say you had 3 blocks of this and you do 3 and then hurry up and click this one. It might do all gold. So you might want to make sure it's done before you start adding the other one for the whichever ore you're smelting. In my case, it was the tin. But I believe it was, what, 4 blocks that I had? So I'll probably do these 2 as well. Yeah, it was close. So it looks like tin goes away pretty quickly. Click it, David. Shift click. Makes it easier. Yeah, like I said, if you guys want cuts in between this stuff, just let me know. I can do whichever. I think in the beginning I did do a lot of cuts, and I was sort of cut out all the tedious processes. But sometimes it's cool to see that kind of stuff. I know there's a few cases where I would have liked to seen where they were mining, what level they were mining, how long it was taking them to do something, because I had the same setup, but it seemed like they were going quicker, but it was just cuts and everything like that. So like I said, just let me know what you guys prefer. I'm gonna make 2 of those because I believe the redstone furnace also takes some. Thin gear. I'm gonna make 2 of those. Like I said, I am gonna need 2 machine frames for the things that we're doing. I don't have the glass. And guess who didn't smelt the glass? This guy. Just gonna go ahead and smelt all of this. I should probably split it up between the 3 just so it goes a little quicker. I'm just gonna do 2. I think just so it goes a little quicker here. But yeah, once we have the pulverizer, the redstone furnace is next, which I know that I need bricks. Is that all the clay I have is just 3? Not what I wanted. I tried to place the mic as far away as possible from the keyboard without me going distorted here. So like I said, if there's, I'm gonna watch it back. I'm gonna try to get everything out of it. 8 is enough because I only need 2 blocks for the furnace. That's definitely enough. And previous episode, I did mention something about making. If you guys have any recommendations for mics or basically any equipment that you guys can think of that I would need. I think the only thing I could use is a mic, because I don't need a capture card. I don't need anything like that. I already have an Elgato for the console for the other Let's Plays and stuff. But for PC, for this type of content, I don't think I would need anything but a mic, because the mic I have on the headset was kind of horrible. Wasn't happy with it. I'm gonna see what you guys think about this one. Like I said, it is the Blue Snowball. I've had it for, I want to say, at least 5 years. Never really used it, because every time I plugged into my PC, it would always say that it was unrecognizable, and it drove me insane. So I sort of just stuck it away for a little bit, and now I brought it back out because it's saying that it was recognizable. Alright, so I have the pulverizer. I'm going to go ahead and place this down. I believe I'm going to be doing this a lot as well. I'm going to try to do my best at making sure I have everything, but I do that a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and just connect this right here. As you can see, this little, I'm going to place one here. See how it doesn't have that little extra square to it, I guess you could say? That means that it's connected to that machine. As you can see, this only now has 5,000 RF because the flux duct holds 5,000 redstone flux. It holds 5,000 and it transfers 1,000 at a time. I guess it's yeah, RF a tick. So in that little short time, it already transferred 5,000. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some more coal because I believe the pulverizer also has like a storage component to it. So as soon as I put the pulverizer down, it's gonna suck this dry. I'll show you right here. Might not have been a proper term to use, suck it dry, but it works. As you can see here, this can hold 20,000 RF just alone in the pulverizer. So this held 10,000, and since I let it run without storing that energy, it used all the coal just as sort of just throwaway. So yeah, I'm gonna throw in 1 coal. Actually, I'm gonna throw in 1 because that should power up another 10,000 and hold this exactly at 20,000 while I throw in the gold and the silver. So this interface is a little different because of these little tabs here. So if you click on these, it'll pop open. So this top one up here, it's the power usage. So if I was to throw something in here, it would tell you how much RF a tick it's using. The maximum power right now is only 20 RF a tick, so the maximum power usage is only 20, and it tells you the energy stored. But if you hover over this, it also tells you energy stored. The information, it just tells you what the machine does. So this one smashes things into other things, useful for processing ores and converting items. It's not reversible. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So those are those 2 tabs. This tab over here, augmentation. So that requires an upgrade. So we have the basic pulverizer, as you can see up here. Let me go out of there so it's a little brighter. At the top of the screen, it says pulverizer. In parentheses, it says basic. You can upgrade these. Let me go ahead into the actual mod itself. Where is it? So these right here. These are the upgrade kits. So you could upgrade it to a hardened machine. And when you do that, you get a augmentation slot. So then you would come into here and you can place one of the augmentations. Here's a list of the augmentations here. Only certain machines can take certain ones. The one that we would use in the pulverizer is this one right here. It's processing speed. So it increases the speed that it processes, but it also increases the power usage. So the power usage right here, it would go from 20 to probably 200, and it would also increase the speed from, say, I don't know, say it takes 5 seconds to pulverize a material, it would cut that probably in about half. So that's what the processing speed does. It sort of tells you what they do here. So green is the pro, red is the con. So additional energy is required, but you get a maximum power usage, so it increases the speed that it mines at or breaks the items up. There's a lot of different ones here. We'll be using a few of these in future videos whenever we get into the dynamos, because you can add in a thing right here, advanced throttle, prevents not that one, I'm sorry, I lied again. There's one here, maybe it's this right here, increases output. So I believe those output on the thermal, or not the thermal, the magmatic dynamos, I believe it's only 80, but if you put in one of these, it increases it, so it goes to, I think, 120, and then it increases by 40 each time. So that's what the augmentations do. They can just upgrade your machines. Redstone control is, so you can only, so if I put something in here and I had this on high, it would only work if I gave it a redstone signal. I keep it ignored because I want it to work regardless if it has a redstone signal. That's sort of a thing where you can turn on and off your machine. So if you don't want it to work to save power, you can do that, or just let it work freely. I just always keep it as ignored just to keep it freely. Configuration is where we get into the inputs and outputs. So as you can see in the center there, the center box right here, how it's blue. So if I was to feed items from the top of the machine, as you can see right here, it's blue. Let me go to sleep so a creeper doesn't blow me up. But like I was saying, at the top of the machine, that square was blue. So if I was to feed items into that, say in this instance, since it's a pulverizer, say I had a chest on top and I had all my ores, the ores would go in through the blue section and it would go into this blue section. And then this is the red section, which is the output. So you can set the output to the left side, the right side, the back side, or the bottom. And this is the bottom here. This is the bottom, this is the back, this is the right, this is the left, and this is on the top. So you can click on these to change. Left click is to cycle through it forward, right click is to cycle it through backwards. So what I usually do is I input through the top, and then I usually right click these to set them to nothing, and then I output to the bottom. So I usually set it to orange so it outputs the base output, and then also that little chance, like when we pulverize a cobblestone, you had a chance to get sand, but you're guaranteed gravel. So it automatically outputs both, so you don't get stacked up, because you could only output the top one with red, and then if this stacked up to a stack of sand when we were pulverizing cobblestone, it would stop the machine from producing anything until we brought this out. So I always keep it on orange just so it outputs both items. But in this case, we're not going to do there. We're going to do up here. And I'll explain that in a little bit here once I get that redstone furnace up and running. Let me grab this. Let me grab this. Go. Whoop. Let me go redstone furnace. So this is just a furnace, but it's electric, not electric, but it uses power. It's part of the thermal expansion mod as well. I will be using that mod a lot. One of my favorite mods. That's why I sort of don't use industrial craft anymore. So I place this one here, so it's now connected to this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw, let's just say 4 in there. But as you can see, it's connected here too. So if I had the wrench, I could right click this and disconnect it from this machine, so it's only drawing power from this one. I could technically do that, but I'm not going to, and the main reason I'm not going to is I don't have the wrench. Main reason, honestly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw. Hey, not updated. I don't know where that coal just went. I don't know, but it's whatever. So now these are fully powered. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and set the input to this block here. Then I'm gonna set these all to nulls, except for this one here. So right now I have the input coming through the top, and then I have it going out the right. I have the input on this one coming from the left. So this should input items, output to the redstone furnace, and then output to a chest. That's how it should work. I've had a few issues with it, with a couple of them not working properly, and I had to use an additional. I had to use an additional block in between here and the chest because it wasn't outputting directly. So I don't know if it's because of the vanilla chest. I'm not 100%, but we'll go ahead through it. So I'm just gonna do real quick, just a gold. So pulverizes it. I'm going to shut this off real quick, just so you guys can see what we get here. So there's the pulverized gold. So now if I set this back to orange, it'll take that out and put it into here, the dust. And then boom, it automatically output into the chest. So if I wanted to, I could put a chest on top of here and set it to like output. And it would automatically input all of the gold or whatever I want in there. And it would automatically output, so I could just leave this go do something else. And it would automatically thing, and I come over here, face click, and I walk back with all my gold and everything. So that's what the pulverizer and the redstone furnace does there. I believe for the energy cell, I needed some electrum, correct? For this here? Yes, I needed some electrum. So that is gold dust and silver dust. So I'm going to go ahead and put one gold in there. And then I'm also going to do one silver. I did silver. Where'd I put it? Did I not do any silver? Silver, right? Let me go check out here. I thought I did silver. I don't know why. I didn't. Guess I did lead and copper. And someday I'll remember what I do. Let me just take all of that. I'm gonna need one of these silvers as well. So let me just go ahead and do that. I believe that's a slow burner. Yep. So let me go ahead and make everything else. The reason that this kind of sucks with where I have it is this one's kind of like, I mean, you can still use it because, like I said, it still connects to all of them. It's still going to transfer because it's like a wire. I have input coming here and here, and it can go to either one. So it's not really going to matter. So I can go ahead and do this. And then I could set a machine here, here, on top of those. It doesn't matter. As long as it's connected, the power will transfer. So what else do I need? Just that and that. Oh. Okay, so now I'm just playing the waiting game. Too bad I couldn't cue the Jeopardy music. Let me go ahead and grab this. I believe I only need one ingot, so let me just grab this real quick. It's a lot quicker. Because you get 2 electrum per mixture. I mean, technically it's 1 and 2, so it's like how it should be, I guess. Yeah, you can combine these. Like, I don't know why I just had a brain fart there, thinking I had to put both of them in here, and I couldn't. That's how you got the electrum. Just combine it in your little thing. Let me click off that so it goes. So that'll give us some electrum. And now that we have the electrum, go in here, put the electrum in the middle, bing, bing, to make a redstone ductance coil. I believe that's how you say it. So then I need to go over here to my chest. Look at that. I can't even see the rest of my house. It's saying it's so ugly, it just it got rid of it. Okay, I see how you are, memory. Bring it back. And it's gone. Back. Gone. Back. Gone. Alright, let's go ahead and make this energy cell so we can get moving forward here. So, now if I was to go over here, and I'm just going to place it on top. I know it's hideous, but it is what it is. So, same thing here. It just stores redstone flux, 2 million of it. And then you can change the input. So if you only wanted to, I mean, it's probably more useful in the output. But say you only wanted to output 100 RF, but you wanted to receive 1,000. So you're still charging this to full capacity, and you're only outputting 100. You could do that just by using these. So if you click once, as you can see there, how it says 50 and then /10. So if I right click, it goes up by 10. If I left click, it goes up by 50. You hold shift, it does 1,000 and 100, and then if you hold control, it does 5 and 1. So I'm gonna do this just to go to the max because I'm not outputting right now. And the reason it's not getting power is if you look at the bottom, it's set to an output because it's orange. So blue is input, orange is output, as it says here. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this an input, and then it starts charging. So while that charges, I'm gonna have to throw in some more coal because I'm sure that sort of went away. So while this charges, definitely gonna need more than the coal that I threw in there to get this 100% charged. But that's the basic concept of energy storage. And the reason you do this is, say whenever I get to a little bit further and I have the lava production going, say for some reason I ran out of lava and I have access to nothing because everything's stored electronically, I would get screwed. So if you have one of these laying around, you can just whip this down onto the ground and it would power up your computer to grab all your data, to grab all your items, so then you're able to get something out to go and fix whatever the issue is. So this is like a backup. Like I said, it's basically just a battery. They just call it an energy cell. But yeah, that's that. So I can take the pulverizer off. I can take the redstone furnace off. The energy cell I can also take off. Pump and tank, we're going to have to save that because you do need ender pearls. And I haven't seen an enderman, and I don't really like killing endermen with an iron sword because it takes forever. And there's a chance that I can die even with diamond armor. I don't even know if I showed you guys that I had diamond armor. When I went mining, I got a lot of diamonds. The only diamond I used was one on the iron hammer, and that's it. And then I made the suit of armor, which takes 24. So I used 25. So I had 78 diamonds, and I only mined for, I would say, a maximum of 15 minutes. So the hammer does really help in that. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at the swords here. I believe I have the thing in my backpack here. Let me go ahead and place down the tool forge, and then the different swords here. So the broadsword's a basic sword. Long sword, it just gives you a lunge attack. Rapier, I don't know how to pronounce that. I believe it's rapier. I don't see why it would be rapier. I mean, I guess it could be rapier because I is a vowel, and the A would get the uppercase pronunciation. So I guess it could be rapier. I'm just gonna say, I don't even remember how I said it before. Oh boy, rapier. I don't know. The rapier, it's a quick strike, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. So you can swing it probably twice as fast, but you only get a third of damage. So I don't know if it's actually worth it or not. I usually go with the cleaver, and the reason I do that is it does have slow attacks, but you can increase the speed that it swings by adding redstone, so it's not too bad. But it does a lot of damage per swing. And it also is a better chance of you getting wither skeleton skulls because it does have a beheading effect on it. So that's a very useful thing. And that's probably going to be the one I go with. We might do some investigation with these other ones here. But I'm going to go ahead and make the cleaver just for now. So I need a large sword blade, a large plate, and tough tool rod. So I'm going to need one. Is it dark again? Holy Lord. These days are just cruising by. Oh, looks like we're up to about over 45 minutes of recording. So this is definitely not going to be a short episode because I tried to accomplish a little bit in this one because it wasn't anything special. It was just basic power and a sword. So I figured roll it out a little bit longer, try to get as much in. So we can get going here because the beginning of the Minecraft and Feed the Beast or any mod pack, it's sort of tedious. So let me go ahead and run over here. I need one of those. I need this. I need a tough tool. The reason I need this is I don't have the large blade. I believe it's this one. Oh, when I did my pickaxe for the Tinkers, remember how I was saying that if you were to make the pickaxe and you were to put a binding, a tool rod, or a pickaxe in here, I believe it was a tool rod and binding that I ever said, that sometimes you get it only takes 0.5 of a material and then you get a little nugget. That's not the case. I guess they changed it so it automatically takes 1 so you don't get a nugget. So why this is here, I don't know. Maybe there's one that does only take 0.5, but usually the binding only takes 0.5, and I used to get it all the time and it used to annoy me, so I don't know why it's there. We'll just say that. I lied. I do that a lot in this. Because things like to change on me. So I definitely have to get out all the silver. I don't have to because I need iron. Because I'm going to make an iron sword. Just a basic one. Eventually I do make a Manelite. Oh boy, English was not my thing, man. I usually make it out of this material. I think it's the best. Not 100%, but it does take the 2 best ores you can get from Tinkers and combines it. So I'm guessing it's it. Menelium? Man, I'm not even going to try. I'm going to just stick with playing Minecraft instead of reading. 5 blocks. Come on. 1, 2. Then how many ingots was it? I know it was more than 1. So let me go ahead and throw some iron in here. just so I have enough for this. Oh, I'm also going to need 2 gold. Let me throw 2 gold in there as well. I got those in there also. And the reason I needed 2 gold is to make another cast for this. Alright, so there's 5 in there. Because once I have the other cast, then I can go ahead and make this. Oh, no, I didn't. I did. Gold and silver makes electrum. We literally just covered that. Just covered it. And what do? I do it anyway. Not that big of an issue because I will use it. 100% I will use it. But it's not what I wanted to do right now. I don't have that much gold to be sparing here. We're poor. We're poor right now. No gold. They told me to put stocks in something else. Oh boy. Take out this last silver so I can put in 2 more gold. Be good this time, huh? Don't mix. No, that's the new norm, but don't. Thank you. I appreciate it. My inventory is a wreck. I don't even want to look at it because it bothers me. Yes. I do this. In here. Might as well, right? Oh, I have to go back. I think it's 2 tool rods. I need to automate this. I hate getting trapped in there. Drives me nuts. Yes, 2 tough tool rods, 1 large plate, and 1 blade. Because it does take 2 hands, so I guess that would make sense for 2 handles, even though it's not technically what that means. You know, it is what it is. The 1 large plate, that's all we need. That takes 8 iron. The handles, I think, take 3, so that's another 6, so that's 14. And then I believe the sword blade also takes 8, so that's 24. Did I do that right? No, 22. 22. 16 and 6 is 22. Yeah, 22. That's one thing I am okay at is math. A lot of people say I'm a lot better than I think I am, but I'm rusty. I don't use math. Teach what you're supposed to learn at school. I learn math that I don't use. Another tough tool rod. Let me go ahead and throw the sword blade down. Make sure the gold's at the bottom. Boop. Another cast. Throw these in here. What happened? Oh, I already put it in there. I'm a little slow. Just a little. Just a hair. Let me go ahead and use this. So this solidified experience, it drops from when you kill mobs. So you get the experience like normal when you kill mobs, but then there's also a chance of getting these, which you can save if you want. So whenever you do enchantments, you can hurry up and just right click and get. You can right click and get levels back, but I just use them. It doesn't really take part in it as much because when you're playing this, once you get the flying ability using the angel wing, you go to the nether and you just mine everything you can out of the walls. It's a very easy process to get XP. Plus you can get mob grinders and stuff like that, and it's a very simple thing to get, so it's not like a big deal if you waste it. So here we are with the iron cleaver. It does 10.8 attack damage, as the iron sword only does 6. So it's like 1.5 of those. Let me look up a diamond sword because that is the basically the equivalent. That only does 7. So this does 10 base without any modifications, without anything. So it's a heavy hitter, but it does swing slow. Let me grab that back out. Let's compare it. So there's 1 swing. See how slow that little sword fills up? That's the next full swing for full power. If we were to go to the iron sword, it's a lot quicker, as you can see. So technically, I could do more damage over time with this sword, but this one, it does more damage per swing, and you get a chance of beheading. And I can increase this, as you can see here, it actually tells you the attack speed's 0.7, as the iron sword is 1.6. So if I add redstone to this, actually I could probably do it right now. 9 out of 50. Let me grab 50 redstone. As you can see, it adds 20%. So instead of it being 0.7, it's 0.84. So it's still not close to 1.6, but it does make a big, significant change. And to add sharpness to the Tinker Tools, you have to add Netherrack. So you do have to go to the Nether to make the damage a little bit better on this. But as you can see there, it has beheading too. Really? Where did you spawn? That you wanted to come up here and say hi? Right here, probably. So if you hit F7 on your keyboard, it brings up these little lines here. Red means that a mob can spawn. As you can see, if I place a torch, it goes away. That block as well. So that's the best way to get your lighting perfect, basically. If I go out here, yellow means that I believe it's only at nighttime they spawn. And so basically, if I was to place one here, it takes out the little radius. So it's a good way to get your lighting sort of so you know that no mobs are going to spawn around you. So like I said, that's F7. But like I was saying, the iron cleaver does a lot of damage. It has beheading. You can increase the speed of it. You can increase the damage on it. You can increase basically anything you want. You can make it. Yeah, I believe you can add mending. Not mending, but I believe it's when you're above in the sunlight, it regenerates the power by adding moss blocks. So there's a few things you can add with that sword. Makes it a pretty good starting weapon. Eventually, we're going to get into, what is it? Redstone Arsenal, I believe. Probably mispronouncing that as well. Redstone Arsenal, yeah. So these are the tools that I like to use mid-game. So it does have an excavator. It has a hammer. It has a pick, shovel, a sword, armor, stuff like. I don't really care for the armor. I usually just stick with diamond until I get farther, because once you get this, it sort of does 7 attack damage. It's basically the iron sword, but you can put enchantments on here. So if you put sharpness 5 on breaking, it uses less RF per use, because right there it says 200. You can also empower it. When you empower it, it does more damage on top of it, but it uses a lot more power. So, and then this is when you get into using the capacitors as well. So I can take the sword off of this here. Oh, to add looting to your sword. Wow, I just remembered because of my sign, so it was a good idea to put the sign there. You add lapis, the same thing to get fortune on your tool here. Because as you can see down at the bottom, since I have luck 3, it gives you looting and fortune. So technically I could go around and hit things with this iron hammer because it does 7 attack damage, and I can get looting from it. But I believe the attack speed's real low. Actually, it's better than the cleaver. So technically I could just walk around with the hammer and just smash people like I'm playing whack-a-mole. But I don't like to use that, so I'm just gonna dump all this stuff. That chest. Bing, bing, bing. I'm gonna put glass in the chest with the machines and everything, because like I said, you use a lot of glass for machines. So but we covered basically everything I wanted to this episode. It drug out a little bit longer than I wanted. I believe it's going to be about an hour long. Didn't really want it to be that long. Might cut it into 2, but I'll probably just leave it 1, just upload it. So in the next video, we're gonna go ahead and try to jump into a pump and tank. But the way I'm looking at things here, I don't think we're gonna be able to get into a pump and tank for a little bit, because like I said, you do need some obsidian. So that's gonna take more machines and more things like that. So the best bet is I'm probably gonna mine in between episodes, just so I don't have to make an episode of mining. Get some more coal so I can make sure I have enough coal for these generators here, because as you can see, this is only 1/10 of the way full. It's a little bit more than that, but you get the idea. It's not full. So obviously I only used 14 coal, but I'm gonna go ahead and go mining, get a bunch of materials so I don't have to worry about it. Get enough of here so I can get some more machines up and rolling. Get an obsidian farm not an obsidian farm, but an obsidian machine up and running, because like I said, for the ender tank, you do need ender pearls, and you have to make 2 of these, and you also need blaze rods, which means you have to go to the nether, you have to kill blaze, you have to do all that, you have to do all this crazy stuff. So for me to get to that power generation, we do have to get to the nether. We do have to go pretty far, so I doubt we'll be getting to the pump and tank, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that off, because that's not in the near future. Hunting Enderman, that's not really an objective for a video. That's just going to go as time goes. I'm going to move Find Village over to here. But I do want to adventure a little bit. I might do that off camera. I'm not 100%. I'm probably going to do it on camera, actually. I might actually wait to do that until I get the wing. So maybe in the next one we can start working on the wing, as well as some more machines out here. Maybe do both of those for the next video. Let me just put that down. Machines. And wing. So I'm going to set that there. If you guys have any suggestions for some early game stuff that I can take part in, like I said, it is FTB Revelations. So if you want to look up anything that maybe you want me to look into, or maybe you guys have a proper way that you guys play and maybe I'm going off track and maybe there's an easier way for me to get from point A to point B without having to make a whole bunch of different things and get to there, get to there, get to there. So yeah, if you guys have any recommendations, just leave it down in the comments. And like I said previous in the video, if you guys have any equipment recommendations as well for microphones specifically, leave that down in the comments as well. So I guess we'll leave this episode here, and I will catch you guys in the next one.